I have friends who just booked a massive family cruise for late September, thinking they scored an amazing deal.
They did not get a deal. They bought a massive risk. We are talking about the absolute peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, and cruise lines are very quiet about what happens to your itinerary when a storm hits.
Wait, do the ships not just sail around the storm? That is what the sales agent told them.
Technically, yes. A modern cruise ship can outrun a storm. But the port you were promised? Gone. That private island day? Canceled. Read the fine print of the ticket contract. The cruise line has zero legal obligation to take you to the ports you paid for. They can swap a sunny beach in the Bahamas for a cloudy coast hundreds of miles away.
And you cannot get a refund if they change the entire route?
Not a single dime. But missing ports is not the scariest part. What happens when the departure port itself shuts down?
Do you get stranded?
Yes. In 2026, Coast Guard regulations dictate that ports close immediately when sustained winds reach 39 miles per hour. If Miami or Port Canaveral closes while you are out at sea, you are stuck on that ship. If you are stuck on land, your vacation is delayed indefinitely.
So late August through October is a complete gamble. But wait, I heard there is a specific month where the financial trap gets even worse.
That trap happens in January and February. People pay premium holiday prices to escape the winter, assuming the Caribbean is always hot.
Wait, is the Caribbean not always hot? I thought Florida and the Bahamas were basically summer year-round.
That is a very expensive misunderstanding. During the winter, severe cold fronts routinely push deep into the Bahamas and the Western Caribbean. We are talking daytime highs in the low 60s, with high winds. Now, here is where the ship selection destroys your trip.
Are certain ships not allowed to sail in the winter?
They all sail. But older, budget-friendly ships were built exclusively for tropical weather. Their pools are exposed, their dining areas are outdoors, their entertainment relies on the open sun deck. If you hit a January cold front on a 15-year-old ship, you will spend your entire vacation freezing in a crowded interior hallway or tiny lounge because there is nothing else to do.
So you are trapped indoors with thousands of people on a ship not designed for it. How do you avoid that?
You must actively seek out ships built for all weather. Look for vessels, usually the newer ones, that feature a solarium. That is an enclosed, climate-controlled pool area with a retractable glass roof.
But those newer ships cost more.
Exactly. It is a trade-off. Save $300 on an older ship and risk freezing for a week, or pay the premium for guaranteed indoor comfort. But even if you pick the right ship for the winter in 2026, there is a specific spring month that brings a completely different kind of nightmare.
I thought the ultimate nightmare was spring break. But what about escaping to Europe in the summer? A Mediterranean cruise in late July sounds incredibly luxurious.
That is the most expensive mistake you can make in 2026. The cruise lines market July and August as the golden season for the Mediterranean, but they leave out a highly dangerous reality.
Are the seas too rough in the summer?
It is not the sea, it is the land. Southern Europe is experiencing unprecedented, severe summer heat waves. When you dock in Greece or Italy, you are physically walking into temperatures consistently exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And local governments are finally stepping in to stop you.
Wait, local governments are stopping tourists from seeing the sights?
Absolutely. Look at Greece. Under current safety regulations, when the heat index reaches specific hazardous levels, authorities abruptly close major historical sites like the Acropolis. Imagine paying $400 for your dream excursion, waiting in a sweltering 2-hour security line, alongside 30,000 other cruise passengers, only to be forcibly turned away at the main gate.
And I am assuming the cruise line does not refund your cruise fare. But do you at least get that excursion money back?
Only if you booked your tour directly through the cruise ship. If you used an independent local company to save $50, that cash is completely gone. And the misery does not stop at the monuments. Local authorities are heavily capping daily visitor numbers.
Wait, so you could physically be at the port and legally barred from getting off the ship?
Exactly. Major Mediterranean cities have imposed strict daily limits in 2026 to combat extreme over-tourism. If your megaship arrives slightly behind schedule and the daily quota is already full, you spend your luxury European vacation trapped inside, staring at a concrete dock.
So if the Mediterranean summer is a catastrophic heat trap, the logical solution is just to book a European cruise in December or January, right? The prices I have seen are unbelievably low.
Those cheap winter fares are highly deceptive. The cruise lines are actively trying to fill massive ships during a season when the Mediterranean becomes entirely unpredictable. You dodge the heat, but you sail directly into the path of the violent Mistral and Bora winds.
High winds? Does that just mean a slightly bumpy ride on the ship?
It means you physically cannot dock. In 2026, strict maritime safety regulations for heavy swells mean cruise captains must routinely abort docking at smaller, exposed ports. If your itinerary relies heavily on tender ports where you take a tiny boat to shore, you are in serious trouble.
Wait, so the main ship stays out at sea, and if the water is rough, those small transport boats cannot legally run?
Exactly. Tender operations are suspended immediately in high swells. You will spend the entire day trapped on board, staring at a beautiful coastline you paid thousands of dollars to walk on. But weather cancellations are not even the most depressing part of a winter voyage.
What could possibly be worse than paying for a beautiful European port and never setting foot on it?
Stepping off the ship and finding out the destination is completely boarded up. Coastal towns essentially shut down from November to March. The famous restaurants, local shops, and public transit systems severely reduce their hours or close entirely. You arrive only to wander through an empty ghost town.
So, if the summer is a blazing heat trap and the winter is just a boarded-up wind tunnel, does a normal European cruise even exist anymore?
It does. There is exactly one mathematically perfect window, but cruise line pricing algorithms have completely figured it out. We're talking about the first 3 weeks of September.
Why September specifically? Is it just the air temperature dropping?
It is the water. By September, the Mediterranean Sea has spent 3 uninterrupted months absorbing the heavy summer heat. The water is a perfect 78 degrees, while the daytime air temperature drops into the highly comfortable mid-70s. You completely avoid the government-mandated heat closures in Greece and Italy.
That sounds like the absolute dream scenario. So I should just blindly book any date in late September and finally enjoy the perfect weather?
Absolutely not. Because as the climate shifts in 2026, that exact same perfectly warm water triggers a violent marine phenomenon the cruise lines deliberately hide from their shiny booking brochures.
Wait, what phenomenon? What happens in the water?
The Medicane, a Mediterranean hurricane. When the very first cold autumn air systems from northern Europe collide with that deeply heated ocean water in late September, it creates fierce, highly localized cyclones.
Like an actual tropical storm actively hitting a European cruise ship?
Exactly. And because the Mediterranean is an enclosed sea, the wave amplification is severe. A metacane creates deeply dangerous cross swells that will force your captain to cancel multiple port days. To secure the optimal weather without hitting severe storm risks, you must lock in your sailing dates strictly between September 1st and September 20th.